Hello YouTube, Knife Critics here. It's been a very long time since I've done a video, but I figure I'd do this one because it has been a very long time coming. I made the order back in, I think it was, for one, it was 2018 that I made the order. I think it was the camel one. And yeah, they both showed up just now, so I figure I'd do a quick review, going over some of the details. I mean, other than the color, the both knives that I ordered, there's no difference between the two of them. So the orange one, it's G10 handle, Kydex sheath, black. It's got the updated clip. The screws you can see here, they're just tumbled, not black oxide. And if it zooms in there, it's a CPM 20CV steel. So for both my knives, I opted for that steel just because due to the thickness of the blade, I believe that it's gonna work well enough that I don't have to worry about the knife breaking. And I really like how the camel one turned out. As you can see here, this one came with the black oxide screws. Other than that, same steel, also G10 handle. The weight balance is more in the handle, as you can see here. Normally, you would prefer the balance being in the blade a little bit, just because then it will make for a better chopper. This being a GSO 6, but in this knife, the balance in the handle does make it a little bit more lively knife to handle. The fit and finish is pretty awesome. If you can see the jimping here, the jimping is just sharp enough that it's not gonna hurt your hand if you're not wearing gloves, if you know, during use. But it's sharp enough that it's still useful. It's not just for show. It's actually something that is usable. Same goes for the jimping on the backhand. Same idea. It is usable. So what else? Now looking at the blade here. The blade is very well done. You know, they had a precision CNC machine producing this blade. In terms of the grind itself, the finishing part, you could, if you look really closely, I don't know if it's gonna show up on video here. If you look really closely, you could see some grind marks near the tip. Let's try to focus there. Yeah, you can see some grind marks near the tip, but on the back of the blade, you will not see any grind marks. And actually, the knife came razor sharp. I'm gonna grab a piece of paper. So you know when a knife is really sharp, when it cuts through the paper with very little effort. If it's focusing here, let's try to do this again. And as you can see, very little effort, cuts it really smoothly. No jagged edges, no paper fiber coming out of the paper, so yeah, it's super sharp. Other than that, the handle itself is surprisingly not that thick. I thought it would be a lot thicker, but yeah, it's just right. So I wear a large glove, and it's a lot of handle in terms of length, but in terms of thickness, it's really not that thick. So there's the potential that you could add some liners in between the G10 scales. Okay, there we go. Now let's look at the sheath. The sheath, I I always knew that the sheath with a good design with a drain slot vice just a hole that a lot of manufacturers do. So this whole length of the slot basically ensures that even with the wet blade inserted into the sheath, that there is still some room to get the moisture and water out. So that's an awesome design. Now, this clip, I had some reservation about the clip until I wore it. Like it goes on the hip. I'm not going to show it here, but it goes on the hip very nice because it's very naturally contoured to your body. Because imagine your belt's here, your hip, naturally come out a little bit. So it contours to the body really, really well. The reservation I have with the clip is that it's not as wide. So I hesitate to say how tough or durable it's going to be. So time will tell. But with the hook on the bottom here, I don't imagine that it will come out unless it breaks. And that's the part where I would have preferred something that's a little bit more robust. I like the narrowness here, but at the same time, if it's a thicker material that doesn't bend so easily, like I'm not using any effort here at all, and it's bending very easily. So I could definitely foresee that in some, say you trip and you fall and you go into a tumble, and I could definitely see this accidentally breaking and falling and causing the knife to leave your body. So that would be a bad situation. But those are hopefully rare circumstances that people don't normally get into. Other than that, it's the position of the clip for the sheath is very, very nice, and it's a very tight fit. There's no wiggle. You don't hear anything. There's no slack, no bang around. So it keeps very quiet, and it's very, very secure. So to take the blade out, you just put your thumb here, and then you push. It comes out quite easily. Okay, just a quick tabletop view. Haven't used it yet, just got it, so figure I share this. If you have any questions, let me know.